Hey peeps, thanks for peeping. I am sitting here messing with my D66 Dungeon Generator. When I first ran into a D66 roll, I was like, what are y'all talking about? I think it was Troika. Pretty sure it was Troika. I'd never seen it before where you roll two D6s and you're kind of using them. One is the tens and one is the ones. So anyway, it gives you a 36 possible result range with just a pretty much a simple dice. A dice that most people have. Most people can go to the dollar store and get, which is another reason I always gravitate toward D6 games because it's available to everyone. But anyway, I didn't start really messing with it because I play tiny D6 games a lot, so I usually try to use that same size dice when I'm making stuff for it. And this pretty much generates a dungeon like room that you'd be used to seeing. Its pros is it works pretty well to draw a room, and its con is that it can kind of look similar, but then again, most of them do unless you design them yourself. But this is for like if you're solo and you're trying to generate. So let's try it. First of all, let's look at what we got so far. I'm using Krita to just draw that as we go. And there's a Sidea. She's a goblin I use a lot in a lot of my games. She wears a little torch on her hat, and she's kind of like a companion type character. But anyway, so let's give this a go. So we'll go to our good friend Owlbear as to be our roller. And it's going to be 1 and 5, so that's 15. So if you look at the chart, 15 is a hallway. By the way, I was going to go north. I always go north when I start. This is a hallway, a 6 long hallway. It's got 2 exits, of course. I'm going to write it down because I'll forget. And what else is in it? What was it? There's nothing in it. Oh, it's an empty hallway. I think if I'm not mistaken, I made it where most halls were empty except for a few that had traps in them. Yep, that's what I did because I didn't want to put fighting in a hall. I thought that was pretty clever. But anyway, so this wants a 6 long hall, so that's going to the north. So let's go to our good friend Krita and draw that. I'm going to take liberties here because I made a 2 opening door. I'm going to go ahead and make it a 2 wide hallway, but it's going to be 6 long. So you want to make sure we're on our right layer, which was a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there she be. Oh, my bad. There's just a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm doing any content right here. I mean, normally I'd be doing this on paper. In fact, that's graph paper in the background that I've put in there. But anyway, she's going to move into that. And oh, there's another door there. I forgot. Make sure we're on the other side. Now you could put it at the end of the hallway. It kind of makes sense. So that's what I'm going to do. Just drawing the simple way we usually do them. We used to do them by midday anyway. So that's our first room. There's nothing there, right? So let's go back to chart and let's. Do we want to continue going north? Do we want to go back and go east? Well, let's keep going north. Let's see what we got going on north. So anyway, we go back to the chart. We'll roll again. This time we got 50, 55. Let's have a friend that used to love saying it. 5-5 timer. Is it 5-5 timer? Yeah, it's 5-5 timer. But anyway, so 5-5 is another long hallway. Again, nothing, but it's 10 long. We'll go in there and try to draw that, which we're running out of room. I'll be curious to see how this pans out with OBS. But it's going to end up being a 10 hallway. I think I'm going to take liberties here. And we'll make it shrink down to one side. Yeah, there you go. Sort of sloops down into that other side, and we're going to be 10, so we need 1, 2. Let me go back to our boy here. One, two. I remember when I first started playing D&D way back in the day, I didn't have access to grid paper, and I used to make my own. Just thought that was crazy. The struggle was real. Anybody that's ever had to make their own grid paper knows it's real. Measuring all that stuff out. Alright, let's go get Sidea out of there. Sidea's going into this hallway. If I'm not mistaken, there wasn't nothing there. Oh, we need to make another door on the other end. Oh my goodness. I gotta get back used to using Krita. Stopped using it for a while. I was using GIMP for a while. Got lost track. But anyway, so now we're up in this room. If I'm not mistaken, let's bring up the map. Was it 5-5? Yeah, there's nothing here. There's a wood door. The doors are wood. So, according to what system you use, maybe if it was locked, you could crash it. If you look, you'll see on the chart there are some that are locked. But if it's just opening, then it's just walk straight through. So maybe we'll go one more time in that direction. Let's see what we get this time. 35. 35 is another hallway. 3 long. I have never rolled that many hallways in a row. But anyway. Maybe it was just a dwarf digging down into the ground. Maybe it is slooping down into the earth. Poor Sidea. She's headed into dwarven territory. It's probably not a good idea for her. Let me go back at that chart and look at that. It was 35, wasn't it? I need to start writing it down when I do it. Yeah, it's 35. There's nothing here. And nothing. She's been very lucky. There's been nothing going on. So anyway, we'll go back to that. Get our boy here. And always, I think I always made it where exits were double doors. It was wood. Sidea, she's a good sport. She's gonna get in that little bitty hall. But we'll go north one more time. Let's see if we get something different. Get the idea for what it looks like. Oh, I meant to show y'all what it looks like. So that's where we are right now, right? So go back to our chart. Roll. Ooh, 44. You know, a lot of doubles. The game was that I was playing with doubles were a big deal. But anyway, 44 is finally 2x2 room. There's some treasure. She finally lucked out. And there's 3 exits from this thing. So 2x2 and 3 exits. Oh my goodness. So let me go ahead so y'all can watch me draw all this mess. 2x2. How do I want to do that? And that's the other thing about this. You kind of can make it any way you want. It's just giving you dimensions of the next area. It's 3 ways. I think I'm going to put one here and one here. Once again, it was regular doors. The whole day I've been testing this, trying to see the best way to do this, and it's not yet have I. Wait a minute, we undo that. Thank God for undo. I remember the first time I run into Undo as a kid, I was like, oh my gosh, that's great. Because I put it on the wrong layer. So 3 exits. Gonna put 1 there. And she got some treasure out of this, probably dwarven treasure. For some reason, I feel like that's who built this. All right, now let's go east. Go east, young man. There's a west. I think it's supposed to be going west. You want to do it? Get another one? Just to see how it pans out. Oh, we're in the teens. 13. Ooh, it's never good. 13 is a 4x4 and finally a monster, right? So it's a 4x4. There's no exits, so it'll close off that area. So let me, oh, whoops, let's give y'all, so watch me fumble around drawing. So then you go, do. So I say 4x4? Yeah, 4x4 sounds good. And this is finally, oh, bless myself. Finally, she's run into a monster. It's about time. So then whatever system you use, you finally run into the monster. Let me go back to him. Put the monster in here. There you go. A big old monster in here. And she'd have to fight him, deal with him, whatever. And you can see how that would, design a game. I mean, a board, a dungeon, real quickly. From here, from the entrance to the where she's at right now. Then she could double back. If she beat the monster, she could go back to the right. Go back to the west, and then she could keep rolling rooms. But you can see the way it looks. It was in this long hallway. It could build different rooms. Like, for example, here, come here, Sidea. Let's take you down. Let's say you went all the way back to the beginning. One of these days, I remember how to do all this. Let's take her back down here. Let's say she wanted to go to the east. All right, so we could go back to our chart, and then we'd roll again. 41. I think we did 41. What was 41? It's a 4x4 room. There's nothing there. She's been very lucky today. Only one monster. So we go back to 4x4 room. Oh, how many exits did it have? It had 4 exits. So, but this is a good example actually. 4 exits, nothing here. Now, as you see, I'm near the entrance where the entrance come through, so it doesn't make sense to have another door, say right here. Oh, it's green. That don't make no sense because we could have went in that way. So let's get rid of that. So we're just gonna say there's 3 doors, even so it came up with 4. I mean, you can. It gives you these options, and you can move it. And it's like a while ago, I drifted it up like it was streaking down into one hallway. You just see stuff and you just go with it. So we're not going to put that door there. Instead, we'll put the door here. The one that it came in, and one up here, going this way. So as you can see, you're moving around. Once again, she's very lucky. No problems. And then you just keep doing that. You keep moving. You run into monsters. You fight them. You run into treasure. You roll them up. Find what it is. So far, we haven't rolled a trap. But if there was a trap, you'd roll up what kind of trap based on whatever system you're running. So I think it works pretty good. I mean, it gets an interesting looking dungeon. This one's just odd the way it did all them hallways. But I think it's interesting. And I've used it a lot. And it's worked out for us pretty good. Anyway, thanks for watching.